Hey, so I am actually here to see the movie Jester 2. So this is kind of like a two-day event at the movie theater. They had a screening last night, and then they're having one tonight. It's only a two-day event, so yeah. But I am looking forward to it. And yeah, and I will be. Posting my weapons review this Saturday. So you guys are going to be getting some bonus content leading up to my 31 days of Halloween. So yeah, I'm really excited. This is like a vlog of me seeing the film Jester 2 at this special screening. And yeah, I will let you know what I think, and yeah, kind of take you with me where I can, because I don't know how, since this is like a special screening, I don't know how strict they're going to be with phones, but probably pretty strict. But yeah, I'll do as much as I can. So okay, so I am going to go inside now. Yes, it is. Throw my bag away ahead of time. Okay, so just saw the Jester 2, just got out of that screening, and yeah, I will be kind of giving you my thoughts here in just a bit. But I think I'm going to, oh my gosh, people, like, cars are like freaking everywhere, but but yeah, I'm going to be going to just, I think, stopping at like 7-Eleven or something like that before I give my thoughts on the Jester 2. So okay, but it was a fun time. But yeah, I'll be giving my thoughts on the movie. All right. Okay, so I have stopped at a 7-Eleven just to grab like a snack or like a bottle of water or something. I did get like this little, almost like this Happy Meal snack pack at the movie. It's like they had like, it was like this little, like, it's like, it was, like I said, it was kind of like a Happy Meal. It was like this kid-size popcorn with like a little drink and like this tiny bag of fruit snacks. I loved it. It was enjoyable, and it was just enough. But I don't know, there's just something about stopping at a stopping at a 7-Eleven or some type of corner store after you're done like watching like this, like a movie screening, or even like after a gig, or like a film like a film or photo shoot or something. I don't know, that's just, I don't know, it's just kind of like a little tradition that I have. But yeah, I'm just going to stop here really quick, pick something up, and then I'll tell you my thoughts on the Jester 2. So all right, so I'm back, and I am just back with my chicken here. I just stopped and got like a little, like a thing of chicken, just because I didn't really eat a ton today, and just needed like to get some protein in me and everything. So, but so I don't know, I guess this is kind of like a mini mukbang or something like that. But but yeah, but what I thought of the Jester 2. So because this was a special screening, like it also had behind the scenes stuff, and there was like this before the movie started, of course there was this video message from the director, and you know, just saying, hey, thank you for watching this film, thank you for being here and like supporting independent film, which I am all for, because you know, on here most of the unboxings that I do, when I do unboxings and merch hauls, are from small businesses or smaller businesses, a lot of independently owned stuff. And I also very much agree with supporting independent film and just independent artists of any kind. I agree with supporting. And yeah, so basically after that, you know, the movie started, and the movie, it opened up at this Halloween party, and there was this shy, awkward guy with his friends, and the friends were trying to get him to go talk to this girl that he really liked, but the guy was a little too, you know, he was very shy and awkward, but he kept insisting he wasn't shy. So when he goes to try to talk to her, it doesn't really go as he wants. So what he does is he just kind of goes into the woods, and you know, because he's feeling a bit down. And then he sees this trunk in the woods, and the trunk opens up, and out crawls this kind of creepy clown figure who is the Jester. And so then the Jester is basically unleashed on that Halloween party, and you know, I don't want to give too much away, but he's unleashed on the Halloween party, and then that's just the beginning of everybody's troubles. And then we cut to this girl. She's supposed to be 15 in the film. This girl named Max, and she's dressed up as a magician for Halloween. She loves magic. She loves she loves doing magic tricks, and it's one of the things that is very unique about her. However, high school isn't very forgiving, so she unfortunately is bullied for her talents. And you know, she feels her mom doesn't understand her, and her mom seems to take her younger sister, her younger sister takes precedence in her mom's eyes, even if that's not necessarily true, because it is kind of obvious that the mom's a single mom, and you know, and so she's just trying to do the best she can, but you know, she's frazzled, you know, and so that is, you know, so that's basically what's going on. But of course, to a 15-year-old Max, you know, all she sees is everybody's rejecting me. So enters the Jester, and the Jester at first almost, what I thought was like brilliant about this was they almost kind of made the Jester in this one almost kind of likable, where you know, it seems like that the Jester is maybe befriending Max at first, which of course, you know, he's not just going to befriend her for nothing. So, but it seems like he's, you know, he wants, like, he's like, hey, you know, I'll be your friend. Of course, the Jester doesn't talk, but you know, his actions and movement and everything suggest that, like, he's jumping around all giddy and saying, hey, you know, let me do a magic trick for you. And Max also is friends with this gentleman who owns a magic shop, and he is also a professional magician, a professional illusionist. So, you know, so it is good to see that she does have, you know, at least, you know, some ally. But then, you know, she's almost forced to join forces with the Jester, and it's kind of like this battle between, you know, her own morality and, you know, do I, you know, go with what the Jester says and, you know, kind of allow him to, you know, believe him, like if he, you know, promises me, hey, you'll be powerful if you do as I say. And the things that I liked about this film, I did think I liked the way the Jester was portrayed. Because in like the first one, now the Jester, just a side note, the Jester did start out as a series of just short films on YouTube, and then it, you know, just kind of blew up into this whole thing, which again, I think that is so cool that, you know, they started out just like, and he said like maybe $500, you know, if even that, the director said, if even that per, you know, per short, you know, per Jester short, to like being offered this, you know, $100,000 film, once the short films like really started to do well on YouTube. But that's just a side note. But in a lot of the other, whether, you know, you watch the first Jester movie or, you know, some of the, you know, the short films, like, and the director even got into this too in the behind the scenes stuff, where the Jester is kind of like, he's this looming character. He just kind of stands, you know, just kind of observing what's going on and biding his time. But in this one, like, he definitely, he took on, like I said, there were times when he almost seemed like a protagonist as opposed to the antagonist. There were times like they gave him a little bit of like, you know, almost likable personality traits. You know, of course he was still the antagonist, but there were times when, you know, he would just be moving around and, like I said, just kind of acting kind of giddy and acting like, you know, he wanted to, you know, help Max out, you know, help her out, you know, with her bullies and everything. Of course, he wanted to do it in a very, you know, kind of a violent way, you know, not so good way, but you know, but there was, you know, just that, you know, those moments there where you were like, you know, where you're wondering, oh, you know, is he even really like a bad guy? And that's the thing too with, you know, like when an antagonist is written, but, you know, even though the antagonist may be an overall not so good person, not so good entity, when the director or the writers decide to give that antagonist some likable traits, to me, like it kind of like, you know, just, you know, it adds that extra layer to the character, as opposed to just him being just this looming kind of creepy clown character in the background. So I did enjoy that. I thought that, you know, it was a very, like, it was, you know, pretty atmospheric. I don't know if this was intentional on the filmmaker's part, but I don't know if anybody remembers, like, from the 90s and 2000s, the Are You Afraid of the Dark? You know, there were times when it kind of reminded me a little of that. The whole thing wasn't like that, but there were some times where I was like, oh, you know, this kind of reminds me of when I was little and watching Are You Afraid of the Dark, you know, but you know, a little millennial nostalgia there. But it was, I overall enjoyed how the atmosphere was presented. There were some pretty cool special effects, and it also had some funny moments too. Overall, yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good, well-made independent film. Very, like I said, very well made, but also you can still, it was good, it was well made, but you can still tell you were watching an indie film, which, you know, like I said, it was that really good balance. And, and it had some nostalgia of like 80s and 90s horror. And like I said, it kind of a little bit, there were some parts that harken back to Are You Afraid of the Dark for me. But I overall really enjoyed it. I recommend, giving it a watch this Halloween season. And Yeah, I haven't seen all of the Jester short films on YouTube. I've only seen um really I've only seen like the feature length ones, Jester 1 and then the Jester 2. So yeah, I'm gonna go back and just kind of give some of those a watch, give the short films a watch, and add that to my Halloween rotation. But it was really cool to really hear about how, you know, some like just these shorts on YouTube, you know, were made into these larger budget feature films. And Jester 1 was in the top 100, like with The Conjuring, on I think it was iTunes. I think it was like last Halloween. But yeah, but it's great to see. I always like to see, you know, stories like that. Yeah, and one other fascinating thing was that the director mentioned that mentioned that he kind of based the Jester character on the legend of Stingy Jack. And I've actually done a video on Stingy Jack on this channel. I'll link it in the description, just so you can hear that story. But I thought that was really cool too, that he kind of based the Jester off of this old Irish Celtic legend, which I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I do recommend seeing the Jester 2 this Halloween season. Put it on your Halloween rotation. And yeah, and I will, like I said, I'm doing some bonus videos leading up to my 31 days of Halloween, and which I'm really excited about. So I'll have my weapons review on a Saturday, and then I'll have like maybe one more extra video coming before I start the 31 days of Halloween, which I'm really excited about. All right, so yeah, I mean, if you've seen any of the Jester movies, whether it was the first one or any of the YouTube shorts, yeah, what did you think of them? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And what movies are you looking forward to seeing this Halloween season? So, all right, well, I am going to get to eating my chicken. So, all right, but yeah, but I will thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. All right, take care. See you next time.